That is true. Getting sleep is very, very important. And, as an entrepreneur, as somebody is very, very busy in different aspects of life, I had to really discipline myself to create some kind of a sane schedule where I get enough sleep, because it looks so different when you are actually sleeping 7, 8 hours or whatever is enough for you and not. And sometimes if I wake up after I slept maybe 6 hours and I'm awake and I'm feel like I can conquer the world, great, let's do it. But I do allocate enough time in order to be rested, because that really makes a difference.
Welcome to A Founder's Life. I'm your host, Leo Gestetner. On this show, we dive into the real stories behind the highs and lows of entrepreneurship and how we pursue a more balanced and meaningful life along the way. This podcast is sponsored by Thankz, helping founders like us scale with reliable remote talent. Email founders@thankz.com, that's THANKZ.com, with the subject line, A Founder's Life, and you'll receive $1,000 off your first month. Now, I'm excited today to be joined by Adi Klevit. Adi, can you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Leo, thank you for having me on the podcast. And as you said, my name is Adi Klevit. I'm the founder of Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures for fast-growing companies that are lacking consistency.
Excellent. And do you want to talk through a little bit about what your work journey was that led you to where you are today, and just a little more about how your typical customers look and what you're really doing for them in your current business?
Sure. So I started as an industrial engineer. So process has been process improvement, process documentation, process implementation. It's something that I've worked with for my entire career. And I see the need. I saw the niche of entrepreneurs that need processes. They know they need processes, but they don't have the time, or they don't have the bandwidth or the know-how to actually document it. So that's where I started my current business in 2011 to provide for that need of a done-it-for-you process documentation, which of course also includes optimization and nowadays also automation, and the most important thing, implementation, because it's one thing to document your processes and procedures, but it's another thing to make sure that they're being followed and they're being implemented and are being used. So we combine both and we provide this done-it-for-you service.
Excellent. I look forward to hearing more about that one, actually, because I've probably got a couple of customers who could use your services. Tell us a little bit about how family looks for you.
So my family is my husband. My immediate family is my husband, my son, and of course I have my extended family. It's very important to me to be with my family, and we have great connections with the extended family as well. Holidays together, doing things together, visiting each other. Great balance.
Perfect. And how does health look for you? And when I say health, whether that be mental health, physical health, nutrition, fitness, sleep, sort of how does health look for you?
I'm in a point in my life where actually if you asked me that a few years ago, it wouldn't be the same answer. But now I feel like I achieved optimal health and I'm doing great. I'm into fitness and eating healthy, taking care of myself. And I did a lot of research, a lot of learning, a lot of discovery, and I found what really works for me. So definitely doing very well in that area.
Yeah, I think one of those things that entrepreneurs have a habit of doing is not getting enough sleep. But that's one of those underrated things.
That is true. Getting sleep is very, very important. And, as an entrepreneur, as somebody is very, very busy in different aspects of life, I had to really discipline myself to create some kind of a sane schedule where I get enough sleep, because it looks so different when you are actually sleeping 7, 8 hours or whatever is enough for you and not. And sometimes if I wake up after I slept maybe 6 hours and I'm awake and I'm feel like I can conquer the world, great, let's do it. But I do allocate enough time in order to be rested, because that really makes a difference.
You're definitely right. And what do you like to do for fun?
I love the outdoors. So I live in Oregon, where going outdoors is amazing. We have the mountains, we have the Columbia River Gorge, we have the coast, the Pacific coast, and try to do something every weekend where we either go somewhere or even around where we live. It's beautiful hiking trails, beautiful place. It's great to be outside. So definitely that's what when I'm active, that's fun for me, but active in a different way than throughout the week or throughout work. So doing something different, but still active. So whenever we take a vacation, my husband and I like also to take a vacation that we do something active in terms of hiking or doing some kind of something that we feel accomplished in terms of not just sitting somewhere. Although that's good too, from time to time, to watch a movie or read a book, but I like that activity.
Love that. And what is, for me, I need to move every day. It's
absolutely right.
Yeah. And for you, how does a balanced life look? And that's sort of that center line of an overall balanced life.
A balanced life for me is when I am happy with my accomplishments and what I'm doing. Meaning, if I want to work 16 hours a day and I feel really accomplished, for me, it's balance. If I want to spend time doing volunteering in the community or helping others or visiting a friend or visiting my family and I can do it, that's for me, it is balance. Balance is not something that needs to be rigid. For me, the way I interpret it, it's like life-work balance. That means that you have to have the same. Balance is something that you have to have the same. So you have to have the same amount of work, the same amount of something outside of work. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. For me, balance means that you are accomplishing what you want to accomplish in the sphere of life, on all areas of life. And that's how I measure it. I'm very intentional in what I'm doing. So if I set a goal, and I accomplish that, for me, it's balance. Because when I set a goal to accomplish it. Let's say I have a project to do. If I accomplish it within the amount of time that I decided to accomplish that, well, great. So now I have time for other things. It might be that the other things will be to spend more time with my staff and training them and talking to them. Great. That's a balance. I think it goes out of balance where you feel overworked, overwhelmed, you feel like basically life is controlling you as opposed to you controlling life, or work is controlling you as opposed to you controlling life. So for me, a balanced life is a life where I'm in control. And of course, I can't be in control all the time. So I'm not a control freak, but you have to have that balance between there will be things that are unexpected and you have to prepare for it, because I think that's also where there is a lot of stress. I was just talking to one of my clients and she felt really stressed out. I said, what happened? She said, well, I had a whole list of things to do, but then this and this happened. And then I was not able to accomplish that. So I feel unaccomplished or I feel stressed. Go, okay, well, that happens. And I think having that balance between being in control, not being in control, but being back in control, that's also a definition of a balanced life.
And how about pivotal moment in your life? What has been a pivotal moment for you?
A pivotal moment is when I decided to open my business. And because I was working for a company, I had a very successful career, but I decided, I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I actually had 2 businesses before, small businesses that I had, and I always hustling, always doing things, helping others and having side jobs and all that. But I decided, I really want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business. And it is a pivotal moment. I'm sure, Leo, you experience the same, right? I mean, can you do it or can you not do it? And the only way to tell whether you can do it is to try and do it. And I remember that Monday morning where I woke up and I go, oh, I don't have to go to work, but I have so much work to do. And where do I start? And what do I do? And then it developed from there. And it takes a lot of, what would you say? It takes a lot of courage, right?
It's very true. It takes courage, takes patience.
It takes believing
I think
in yourself, and it takes the low moments. You have to just take yourself by the scruff of your neck and go, okay, let's do it. You can do it. You can do it. And you have to be your own cheerleader and you have to believe in yourself in order to do that. And that's a journey, because in the beginning, it doesn't happen that way, right? I mean, you have your doubts, you have your things that you don't know, things you have to discover, and I think nowadays it's a little bit even easier because you can talk to your AI and find out like, okay, what's the strategy for that? What's the strategy? There is a lot more of, there can be more data at your fingertips that you can immediately get that even, when I started 13 years ago, you can search, you can read books, but you have to go through the discovery. But even today, you definitely need to go to the discovery, and so that's the moment.
And one of my favorite things is, what would be one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
I really, the piece of advice is follow your dream and follow your purpose. And I know it sounds very airy and, people said it so many times before, but if you believe in what you're doing, you're going to be okay, because it's a drive and a purpose. And of course, you have to make sure that what you want to do, you do your market research and make sure that others want what you want to offer. But when you discover a solution to a problem and you believe in it, then you have to do all the steps that are necessary in order to get the business going. But definitely find your purpose and follow it, because that is my strongest motivation and drive.
Great advice. And how can people find you?
They can find me in many ways. So one of them is LinkedIn. So it's Adi Klevit. So it's ADIKLEVIT. So I'm on LinkedIn, very active there. I have also a podcast, a System Simplified podcast. So you can find it on any podcast platform. Also, of course, our website. So it's bizsuccesscg.com. That's BAZ, success spelled out, CG for consultinggroup.com. And they can also go to successreplicator.com and download our ebook.
Well, thank you. I think that all makes sense. And thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Leo, for having me.
And thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, and leave a review.